What does the future of commercial aviation look like? And how should it become more sustainable? And what's the role of disruptive technologies? Stephane Lagut, he's the Global Aerospace and Defense Sector Leader at EY, and he's here to share his latest developments. Welcome, Stephane.
Good afternoon or good morning, depending on the time when you're listening to that.
Yeah, and we have an audience all over the world, so it's any time zone. So what we see is that the pressure on the aviation industry becomes more and more and more to become sustainable. Can you give your view on the role of disruptive technologies, such as you can think about AI or IoT or digital twins, in creating this sustainable commercial aviation industry?
Yes. So first of all, thank you for giving this opportunity, and I will start with I would say the kind of general or historic statement on the sustainability of commercial aviation and aviation in general. So I think the sustainability and thrive to a more sustainable industry is in the DNA of the aerospace industry, because always people have dreamed of flying further with less fuel and in the most efficient manner to maximize the workload and the distance that can be traveled. So I think the appetite for more sustainable transportation and aerospace industry is in the very DNA of this industry. So that being said, we all know that we have those elements of disruptions, both on the cost and the availability of the fuel, but also the appetite and the expectation of the various stakeholders. So that's an element of survival, I would say, and thriving for the industry. And several aspects there. So first of all, there's the airframe themselves. So there's the innovation in those aspects. So how to conceive and to manufacture those. So there, the advanced manufacturing capabilities, the simulation, the digital twinning of the spare parts, the components to manufacture the best airframe and the best composition of the engine, and the concept of the aircraft themselves is very much supported by those elements of advanced manufacturing and digital information to identify the best parts that are the most resilient, that are the most recyclable, etc. There's the second aspect, which is the fuel that is being burned in the aircraft. So there again, a lot of innovation to maximize the utilization of sustainable aviation fuel, and also migrating into new technology like the hydrogen electric. There again, a need for more innovation, simulation, data information to maximize the sustainability and the performance of the aircraft. I would say there's also the aspects of infrastructure on the ground. So it's good to have aircraft and airframe or engine that are able to accommodate sustainable aviation fuel. It doesn't make any difference as long as or if there is not enough infrastructure to provide this fuel to be loaded on the aircraft. So areas of infrastructure to provide the fuel, but also the footprint of the infrastructure on the ground, like the airports, the access road. And there again, digital is critical to help managing the flows of people, of goods, of materials, of fluids, etc., to enable a better utilization, recycling, and lowering down the footprint. And finally, I would say there's infrastructure in the air. I don't know if I can call that like that. And the aspect of fluidifying or making the air traffic management more fluid means there again, additional information about the presence of aircraft, the optimization of the traffic, but that goes also with more observation and availability of data on the weather forecast, wind forecast to optimize the route. So I think in short, and we see innovation and importance of data in all the aspects, like in the aircraft, in the fuel, in the infrastructure on the ground, infrastructure in the air.
Yes, great examples. And you work with the leaders that create these examples, these developments. How should organizations become more prepared, and what should the leaders do to become a sustainable aviation organization?
So I think I would say that partnership would be the key word, because I don't think the solution will come either from the energy companies or the airlines or the airframers or the engine manufacturers or the component, but it will come from a combination and cooperation from all those constituents. And I think the understanding and support of each other is very, very important in that ecosystem and in the optimizing the supply chain, optimizing the innovation, sharing the information about the usage of parts, which one are the most sustainable, are the most cost efficient, are the most readily available to ensure the continuing ability of aircraft to be in the air. So I mean the presence and the anticipation of where the inventory should be positioned. I think that requires the very strong and tight cooperation among the manufacturers, the integrators, the parts provider, the organization that provide MRO and the infrastructures and so on. So cooperation, I think, is absolutely critical to optimize the industry.
Great. And you travel the world talking to all the different partners in the ecosystem. And I think you have a great understanding of what the future will bring. Can you share with us some of the most important upcoming developments in the industry?
Yeah, so I think we should see the evolution in the industry more in a certain time frame. So the industry and the participants to the ecosystem are putting forefront the deadline or the objective in 2030 or 2050, and whilst the emission, for instance, a ton of emission in the UK or in Japan or in the US or in Australia is 1 ton of emission. Whether that ton is being emitted in 2022 or being emitted in 2030 or 35, that is making a very big difference because it affects the starting base. And then how fast the environment is deteriorating. So it's very important for the industry to take action now, and the immediate action on that would be very much on the increase of utilization of sustainable aviation fuel, for instance, the SAF. Of course, there will be the development of more efficient engine, and the industry is currently working on that, but that will have effect in over a longer period because of the time for development of new flying machines, and the time for the life cycle of the aircraft and time it takes to replace. So it will take a longer time, but that will come. And then there will be the introduction of the new technology like the hydrogen or hybrid hydrogen electric and so on. So those new powertrain that will come a little later, but that in the overall scheme of the industry is coming quite quickly, but maybe in the range of 2030 we'll start to have operational aircraft with this type of powertrain. And that will drive the industry to a further level of sustainability in the air. And then let's again not forget the investment that needs to be done on the infrastructure on the ground, and the prediction and the utilization of data that are necessary to make the traffic in the air more fluid. So the air traffic management and also the weather forecast to optimize the routes again. I think that's in the time frame and different aspects. I think that's how I see how the industry can optimize that migration or that transformation, I would say.
Yeah, exciting future developments. I think a tremendous task and change that the aviation industry must go through, but they are used to it, as you mentioned. Thank you, Stephane, for sharing all the latest developments and all the latest updates and give us a glimpse into the future. And for the audience, thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time.